all of you. Thanks for crowding in here this morning. I apologize. We were going to try to do this outside. That storm, if you're on the other side of the hill, is coming in quickly, and I didn't want us to get caught in that. So I apologize for those of you that are standing in the back, but we'll move this along. It's going to be a great day. We are just incredibly excited to be here in Lehigh. Thank you to our friends for hosting us at this great development. Senator Baldry, thank you for hosting us in this great part of the state. This is, as you all know, some of you were with us when we did our budget rollout, and we were in northern Utah, and we talked about the importance of housing attainability. I said then, and I will say it again, that I believe that the single greatest threat to the prosperity of our state is the price of housing, and what will happen if our kids and grandkids aren't able to eventually own property and to buy a home in this state, and we cannot let that happen. We put a team together. You'll remember it was I think his first day on the job when Steve Waldrop, who was here with me, when he joined us at that press conference as my senior advisor on housing attainability. I want to thank our legislators. I cannot thank them enough for stepping into this breach, for getting creative. We figured out we weren't going to have the kind of budget year we were hoping for, and somehow we figured out how to get more money than even we proposed into this space in a way that will make a difference. I have talked with just about every governor in this country on this issue. We are all dealing with this issue. And I truly believe that what we were able to craft together, we're all of us working together, the League of Cities and Towns, Mayor, thank you for hosting us. It's great to have members of city councils, mayors here as well, developers who are here with us, all of us in the room. I don't know how many meetings we had over the course of several months, but we got where we needed to. And I truly believe that this is the most aggressive housing package in the country, and that it will move the needle in a very, very big way over the next 5 years. We're going to build 35,000 starter homes over the next 5 years. We're going to do that, and we're going to make it happen. So we're going to jump into this. As you can see, we have lots of bills to sign, and we'll work through those and get them signed as quickly as possible. Here's how we're going to do it, though. I'm going to announce the bill. We'll have the bill sponsor, both sponsors, if they're here, come up and say a few words, a very brief few words. Now, I want to remind all of you, I know this is a repeat for some of you, I've actually already signed these bills, okay? So there are 591 bills. I had 20 days to sign or veto those. The reason we do this is because there's too much happening in 45 days of a legislative session. Too often, the focus is only on the most controversial pieces of legislation, and we don't get an opportunity to show the very, very best of what's happening in our state and the very best of our legislation. And that's why we do this, because you have some incredible legislators who did amazing things, and they didn't get nearly enough attention for it. So we're going to sign these bills. These aren't the actual copies, and so the reason I say that is just to remind our legislators, you don't have to convince me. I've already signed them. So less is more, I guess I would say. And some of you are going to get an opportunity to say even more than that. So we are going to start. Did Representative Dunnigan make it in yet? I know he's close. Okay, we'll come back to Representative Dunnigan. I know that Representative Perucci just made it, and she is momming, which we love, and we're so glad that your kids are here with us. And if I can hold one, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. And this is HB 430, local government transportation service amendments. This is around transportation, which is also very very critical to our housing issues. So, Representative, come on up, and then we'll have whoever you want to come up.
Thank you, Governor. It was actually nice to just come somewhere that wasn't downtown. I'm over in the Harriman-Riverton area, so this was a quick drive for us. One of the challenges that we face in these areas of incredibly high growth is a lack of transit. And as much as we want to build more and more roads, which I'll continue to advocate for with other legislators, we need alternative options. And this area really is the I call the workhorse of Salt Lake County, not Lehigh, but Bluffdale, Harriman, Riverton area. And thank you. And there is not one single bus stop in Harriman, Riverton, or Bluffdale, and yet they have really stepped up to address the housing needs of our state. So this would allow for cities to be creative and innovative and apply for a public transit innovation grant. This really was the brainchild of Cam Dill here. And so Cam, if you'll come up when we do this, but that they'd be able to access it. They can privately contract out and demonstrate ridership and try and get more transit options for their constituents. So I'm really excited about them finding us today.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, let's have people come up. Thanks, Cam. Anybody else? I'm going to sign 2 copies, one for each of them, and we'll go ahead and do this. Okay.
Andrew, come on up.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, you guys.
Okay, I'm looking at Addie once he's done the picture.
All right. I don't know if you have a free hand, but if you want to hold one of these. Okay, we're all going to smile at Nick here in the blue shirt, okay? Excellent. Well done. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to invite Representative White to the stage. So, Representative White, you're up. And we're going to do HB 465 first, housing affordability revisions.
Well, thank you, Governor. Good morning, everyone. It is an absolute privilege and honor to be amongst friends and colleagues here and to be able to celebrate the work that has happened. Governor, thank you for your leadership, for the House of Representatives, for the Senate, for the state coming together and working with stakeholders and organizations and experts that have all come to the table to be able to look at housing from a 360 whole comprehensive way to address the challenges to help increase the supply of homes in the state, primarily to be able to help our children and our grandchildren to be able to have home ownership to keep the American dream alive. Thank you for the builders, for the Utah League of Cities and Towns, for UTA and UDOT, for the counties, for everyone coming together to be able to work, to be able to address the challenges we have right now, to be able to help us move forward. And the work is already continuing for next year. And so discussions, meetings are happening to be able to continue this work, to be able to help the state address the housing needs. So thank you very much, Governor, for the opportunity to be here.
Excellent. Thank you, Representative. So anybody you want with HB 465? This is 465, yeah. Anybody?
Yes, we've invited several. Please come up.
Just come join us. Yeah, please. Everybody that worked on this one. This is a big product of the Commission on Housing Affordability and does lots of great things. So, and we have many members of the Commission who are here with us. All right, let's go ahead and sign this one. Okay, I'm going to give you this copy. Okay, and everybody look at Nick here. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. All right. Next up, we have HB 476, also Representative White. This is municipal land use regulation modifications, and you can tell us what this one does.
Well, and I'll just speak for 30 seconds. I felt to recognize a very important individual who couldn't be here today, and that's Senator Lincoln Fillmore. He co-chairs the Senate of being able to bring people together to be able to help. So each of these bills are addressing the different aspects of increasing the supply, to limit regulation, to streamline the process, to be able to help houses be able to get built faster and quicker and more efficiently throughout the state. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Anybody you want for this one, or did we get them all in the last one? Okay, this is 476. Come on back up, and if you were here for the other one, that's okay. We want you in all of these. So a lot of work went into this one.
I'm good standing over here, bro.
Okay, here we go. Congratulations. And we'll smile for this one. Excellent. Well done. Thank you, Representative. Okay, we are going to circle back to HB 13, Infrastructure Financing Districts. The chief sponsor was Representative Jim Dunnigan, and the Senate sponsor was Kirk Collimore. Representative Dunnigan, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Governor. So what this bill does is it helps make the infrastructure more affordable. We have well over 100,000 entitled building lots, meaning they're approved, they're ready to go, but there's not money to put in the sewer and the streets and the sidewalk. And some of the cities don't have the bonding capacity, some don't want it on their balance sheet. So what this does, it allows a district to be created by the developer, and they can go to the municipal bond market and borrow at 5 to 7% instead of the regular commercial market of 10 to 15%, put in the infrastructure. And the great thing about it is to use private capital. Because imagine, all the building that's going on around here is wonderful, but we have so many entitled building lots. Imagine if they had the streets and the water and the sewer in it, and a builder could drive by, they could visualize, I'm going to build there. Since this bill was passed at the end of session, I've already had developers reach out with me that have thousands of entitled building lots that said, we think this is a tool we're going to use. So thank you.
Love it. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Come and join me.
So, yeah, I want to thank everybody. This has been a 2-year project, the League, the Property Rights Coalition, everybody else has anything to do, come on up.
Yep. Come join us. And don't be shy. It makes for better pictures. So, Mayor, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Okay, we good? All right, Representative. There we are. There's that. Okay. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Okay. All right, next up, we have HB 488, Transportation Funding Modification. So the sponsors were Representative Spendlove and Senator Fillmore. Unfortunately, both of them are out of town and unable to join us today. But I think Andrew Gruber is here. And do you mind speaking to this one? We'd love to have you say a few words. This is HB 488.
Unexpectedly, but I'm happy to. Thank you, Governor, and thank you to Representative Perucci before recognizing how important transportation is to housing affordability. These things go hand in hand: transportation, land use, economic development, housing, parks and public spaces. We have to think about all of them. This bill, HB 488, does a variety of things, including providing funding on an ongoing basis to our transit system, to commuter rail, to Frontrunner, which is the backbone of our transit system. And some bills that will be signed momentarily also help us to do housing around that transit system. So this bill does that and provides a variety of other funding for local transportation projects and does a variety of things that help us move transportation, housing, and address our growth challenges so we can maintain great quality of life in Utah for generations to come. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. Let's have you stay up here. And yes, thank you. And I don't know if we have anybody from UDOT. Mayor, welcome. It's great to see you. Do we have anybody from UDOT here? All right, Leif, get up here. There you go. Thanks, you guys. All right, anybody else? We love the work that's happening between transit and UDOT. This is going to make a huge difference. All right. Everybody smile for Nick. Excellent. Thanks, you guys. Well done. Okay, next up, perhaps my favorite bill of the session, and I don't mean to offend anyone else. We're maybe not supposed to have favorites, but I do have my favorites. There's some that are my least favorites, but these are the good ones. All right, this is HB 572, State Treasurer Investment Amendments. Again, Representative Robert Spendlove was the bill sponsor. The floor sponsor was Senator Ibsen, and I've asked Steve Waldrop if he would speak to this bill. Steve.
Hey, you just asked me right now. That's good.
I did. I've asked you to speak to it many times
Okay,
over the
I have
course of the
spoken
past
to it
few
many
months.
times. This bill is a critical piece in creating liquidity for our small and medium-sized regional builders. Even our national builders have expressed an interest. This creates a $300 million fund out of a $2.5 billion set-aside in the Public Treasurer's Investment Fund that dedicates that funding to low-interest loans for qualified developments. And a qualified development is one that has 60% of the homes at the affordable ratio. So we're targeting $350,000 statewide for a detached single-family home. It requires that 60% of those homes that are built to be owner-occupied and deed-restricted for at least 5 years to that end, so that we have our teachers and our firefighters and our civic servants and our nurses and the people who are doing the hard work of keeping our economy going, give them a place to live in the communities where they work. And so this has been an amazing effort by literally half of the people in this room or more, including our state treasurer, who backed this and helped us get encroaches a little bit on his kingdom. They were good enough to work with us to create that opportunity and to create something that will make a difference in creating new homes for our working Utah families.
Steve, can you talk about, sorry, I care so much about this one. I want people to really understand what's happening here, about why it's the liquidity issue has occurred and why we're actually building fewer homes now than we were a year ago. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2021, in Utah peaked at about 37,000 housing starts. And for Utah, we need about 28,000 homes a year to keep pace with our population growth. So 2020, we exceeded. We're reducing our housing deficit. We've got a housing deficit now of about 36,000 units. We were reducing it, and then we had interest rates rise. And then the other thing that happened is we had a number of banks in the United States and internationally fail. We had Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic and Signature Banks failed. And so the Fed, wisely, I think, tightened up the lending criteria for our lenders. And that created a liquidity crisis. They could no longer lend out 2 or 3 times their capital. They had to shrink back and were only able to lend out at a 1-to-1 ratio, generally speaking. And so that created a cash crunch in the builder economy because they could no longer lend out as much as they would like. So our local builders and our smaller builders that didn't have as strong balance sheets and as much money in the bank were cut off from a lot of that lending. In fact, we had a poll by our home builders that fully those projects. So our financing increased from 37,000 in 2021 to 19,000 in 2023. So we lost ground last year. And we need to reverse that, and creating liquidity for our lenders to give loans to builders that are good builders. They want to do good projects. That's a critical piece of creating opportunity for these builders to produce the homes that we need in Utah.
Excellent, thank you. This one is such a big deal, and I want you to understand what we're doing is we're basically taking Utah's savings account, right? That's the treasurer's account that is being invested in short-term, investments all over the world. So we're investing in New York and LA and China. And getting a decent return for the people of Utah. Now we get to take some of that money and invest it here. We get to invest it in our people, in our builders, in our families, in our homes. And we know the demand's there. These aren't risky loans, right? Banks would make these loans. They just don't have the liquidity to do that because of a decision that was made by the Fed. So the FDIC. So this is huge. I think it's unique. One of one. Nobody else in the country is doing this, but I can assure you that lots of states are very, very interested in what we just did. And this is where we asked the legislature for $150 million. We didn't have $150 million in the budget. And yet we found 300 million doing it this way. This is the creativity and uniqueness of our legislature and the thought leaders in this space. And again, everybody who worked on this. So thank you, congratulations. I know we have a big group coming up here for this one, so please come join us.
Our banks, our credit unions, our civic leaders, Beth, Holbrook, you were involved in this. Make sure we get everybody up here.
Thank you.
Howard, where's Howard? Oh, Howard's right next to me, okay.
I gave a presentation earlier today about the power of proximity and getting close to each other, and we're doing that here today. There's so much proximity happening. All right, HB 572. Here we go. Okay, everybody look at Nick. Excellent. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you. Let's build some houses. All right, next up we have, we've just got 3 left, so if your legs are getting tired, we'll move through these. SB 168, Affordable Building Amendments. The chief sponsor was, again, Senator Lincoln Fillmore. The House sponsor was Representative Stephen White. Representative White, anything you'd like to add to this one?
Thank you, Governor. On behalf of Senator Fillmore, he wished he would be able to be here. He led this out to be able to help. This particular bill was with modular housing, a big aspect of that as well, to be able to help provide state codes, to be able to help increase the types of homes in modular construction, which will, research shows, can reduce the costs of housing by 20 to 30%. So this was another great collaborative effort of builders and the industry and the state and cities, the counties coming together to be able to create another option for construction to be able to help make housing more affordable.
Excellent, thank you. Come and join me up here, and again, anyone else. We have all kinds of new acronyms. I think is this the HOPSI? I think this is the HOPSI, and there's a whiz, there's all kinds of things. Even it out of it. Hey, good to see you. I really want to thank, you'll see a lot of mayors and council members up here today. I want to thank our local officials who worked so hard this session. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You were incredible. Okay, let's sign this one. Representative, give you that. Thank you. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. All right. 2 left, and it's about time we got to Senator Harper. So another prolific session. SB 208, Housing and Transit Reinvestment Zone Amendments. Chief sponsor, Senator Harper, and the House sponsor was Representative White.
Well, thank you. Appreciate all the people who dove in on this one. We created the HTRZ previously. This bill was after we created 4 HTRZs. This is called Lessons Learned and Way to Improve. We added a couple people onto the committee. We went through and clarified the but-for analysis, how we use the tax increment. What we're trying to do with this one, in a nutshell, is maximize investment around transit stations and where we put major infrastructure so that we can have more density, people can have an optional lifestyle, and be able to use transit that we so much appreciate and use. So that's what it does. The other thing it did is it increased the requirements for the affordable housing element and how much that can be for lower income people in that district. So
excellent.
That's
great
it.
bill. Thank you so
much.
much.
Okay, where are my friends? Come on up.
Again, I think this is a great example of work that's been done in the past couple years. We're not just starting on this housing affordability issue. We've been working on it for many years, and these HTRZ zones have made a huge difference, and this will continue that. So. All right, Senator, where are you? I'll let you hold that, and we'll take a picture together. Excellent. Thanks, everyone. All right, Senator Harper, we're going to have you stay up here, and Representative Musselman will have you come up as well. This is the First Home Investment Zone Act. Again, Chief Sponsor, Senator Harper. House Sponsor, Representative Musselman.
Thank you. On this one, this is an outcome of what we learned from the HTRZ. We realized that we needed to focus more on owner-occupied homes, so this one goes through and creates a specific zone that'll have density within it, but also you can go through and use some of that density to do deed-restricted, owner-occupied, at-market, and affordable housing. So this is a great program, had a lot of people involvement in this, and it is focused on owner-occupied homes.
Thank you. Another one of my favorites, if I can. Again, this is this idea of deed restricting owner-occupied housing, so that we can actually make sure that we're not building supply and then having institutional investors come buy it all up, and again just wasting that and not giving our kids and grandkids an opportunity to own these homes. So I think this is a major innovation and something I'm excited about. Representative Musselman, anything you'd like to add to this one? Thanks for making the trip down.
Yeah, there's a couple of key components to the bill. We think can concentrate it around the zone itself, but the key component is for reducing the density within the zone. A builder could do that along with the agreement with the municipality. They build detached homes outside the zone that would bring down the density. So it truly incentivizes the single-family detached homes versus just stacking them. And another critical component, I want to give credit to Speaker Schultz, who gave specific instructions. He did not want to dictate necessarily to the municipalities what they have to do, but use them in a partnership way. And the League of Cities and Towns, CAM, and as well as Andrew Gruber with Wasatch Front Regional Council were really integral in coming up with some of the details of this, and they deserve a great deal of credit. So.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
So one other item, Governor.
Yeah,
I'd like to thank you for the opportunity, because right behind that greenhouse, my daughter lives there, and I'm going to go visit her after we're
I'm
done.
so glad. We did that just for you,
Just
Senator
for me.
Harper.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Anybody you'd like to come join us on this one? So, since this is our last bill, I'm going to take I want to thank my team. Sophia's here with us. She's amazing. Thank you, Sophia. Worked so hard during this legislative session. I have to tell you all just a little secret. So we work for months on our budget proposal, and I know the legislature spends months reading our budget proposal and following it. They left a little too loud on that one. But what I can tell you is we were near the end of our budget. Our budget was almost ready. It was almost done, and I called Sophia and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to blow this up. We're going to go all in on housing." And you've got about a week to do it after they had spent, again, months and thousands of man-hours getting through this. And to their credit, they jumped right in, her team. Look, we talk a lot about NIMBYism, not in my backyard. We don't want any building happening. And I understand that. And so I so appreciate, again, our municipalities who are involved in this. One of the reasons we're so focused on single-family detached owner-occupied housing is because I do think it's the one area where most Utahns get it. Even if they don't want a lot of density in their backyard, they get this piece. It resonates. Can I ask, how many of you grew up or raised some of your own kids in a home that was 1,500 square feet or less on the level? Please raise your hands. Yeah. It's okay. We can do this. It's not going to destroy our state. It's not going to destroy our backyards. In fact, it's going to do the opposite. And we can build these starter homes again. And so I love the incentives. Thank you for pointing that out for our mayors and our city council members to do more of this. We love the collaboration, and we hope that you'll take advantage of these tools, because I think your people, especially once their kids are living in their basements, will be much more open to what we're trying to do here, and that's a good thing. So, all right, let's sign this last one, and then we'll get you out of here. All right, Senator, that. All right, one last time. Here we go. Representative, that's for you. Okay, go out and build some homes. Thanks, everybody.